Iran's foreign minister is in Russia for talks with President Vladimir Putin, seeking support from a key ally, while indirect diplomacy with the US continues through regional mediators. And for more on the diplomatic efforts surrounding the war on Iran, Dasha Chernyshova, who has been watching developments for CNA, joins us live now from Moscow. Well, Dasha, how is Russia looking to help ease the tensions of this war?
Well, certainly from the Russian perspective, it is important to make sure that the tensions do not have the major international and regional spillover. So Russia has been from the very beginning saying that the only way out of this current situation, of this conflict, is through diplomacy. And Russia has been quite supportive of Tehran, suggesting that it does seem that Tehran has been misled by the false promises from the United States. In that sense, we heard also Abbas Araghchi, Iranian Foreign Minister, earlier this morning suggesting that indeed there have been excessive demands from the American side that have been presented so far. So in these conversations that the Iranian Foreign Minister will be holding on the Russian soil with the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and the Russian President Vladimir Putin in St. Petersburg, it does seem that the sides will be trying to talk about the ways out, to check the clocks, so to say, and to make sure that their approach is unified. But as for the Russian involvement in this conflict and mediation efforts, we have seen Russia's strong backing of Tehran when it comes to diplomacy, but not so much when it comes to the practical action, with Russia also being engaged into another diplomatic process with the United States of the conflict in Ukraine, and Russia being quite careful in its rhetoric, although blaming the US for their aggressive actions against Tehran. So in that sense, we do understand that Moscow will be suggesting itself as the facilitator, as the provider of the format of the further deal when it comes to the peace formula on Iran-US conflict. But Moscow will not be forcing itself here, and probably the US will not be welcoming Russia's role as a more active participant and more active mediator. So we understand that Moscow's support for Tehran is something that Tehran is counting on. Russia has been instrumental in 2015 JCPOA negotiations, and Russia still has a role at the UN Security Council, just recently placing its veto on one of the Bahraini resolutions on this conflict. So in that sense, Tehran is counting on Russia's support, and this is something that Moscow is likely to provide to it.
Dasha, thank you for that update. There was Dasha Chernyshova reporting live from Moscow.